Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another woman to woman video, and it's going to be a little bit of a different one. It's going to be about body image in pregnancy and what I like to call bump shaming, and just a few little things like that I wanted to chat to you about, because it's something that's kind of been on my mind a little bit recently, and something that I've actually surprised myself with has been that, as somebody who struggled with their body image their whole, I want to say adult life, but it's not even adult life, like literally since I was probably about 12 years old, I wanted to kind of be aware of the fact that in pregnancy things are going to change. Your body image will change, your body will change, and that's okay. And it's something that I do know affects women who don't even have body image issues. Usually when you're pregnant, it kind of does affect you. It's a little bit not unpleasant, but it's a little bit difficult to watch your body change so vastly, I think, with no control over it. Even though it's for like a great reason and everything, it is still a little bit hard. And people don't talk about all the different body changes that happen as well. It's not just that you'll gain weight and you'll get a bump. It's all sorts of like weird little body changes that no one tells you about. Like, you know, your nipples going slightly different colour, like a different colour than they normally are, and them getting kind of big, and your boobs getting just ridiculously big, and just kind of things like that that can make you kind of feel a little bit weird. But considering my body image is so bad, since I've been pregnant, touch wood, it hasn't been that bad. And I think maybe the reason for that has been because, touch wood, I haven't gained a ton of weight so far. Now, when I say so far, I'm only nearly 22 weeks. So we're kind of halfway in. But so far I haven't gained a ton of weight, and everyone does say that you gain the most kind of towards the end, so maybe it's coming. And during the first few months I felt so sick and so kind of gross that, to be honest, I think I'd probably even lost weight. It was okay, it was perfectly safe, but it was something that kind of did affect everything like that. But I think that basically as soon as you start to have a little bit of a bump, your body image actually benefits, because for a while you just feel a little bit bloated, and that's not a very pleasant feeling, and you can't wear anything that's kind of tight around your stomach because that's not very comfortable, and just all sorts of little things like that I think are just a little bit of a kind of downer. But once you do definitely start to get a bump, it's actually quite nice, especially if you're somebody who has been insecure about their stomach, which I think a lot of us are. It's kind of nice because you're not insecure about your stomach, because it's like, it's obvious what it is. Generally, I still think it's quite, to me it's obvious that I look pregnant. Other people have lots of opinions about how you look when you're pregnant, which is quite interesting, and they think that it's appropriate to say them as well. So I have had, within the same day, somebody tell me that I don't look pregnant, and well, I don't look 5 months pregnant, and that my stomach's like really tiny, my bump's really tiny. I've then had somebody say, oh my god, your bump's huge, in the same day, and then somebody else say that my bump was like absolutely massive, all within the same day. And then another person that day who said that my bump seemed kind of pretty average, normal to them. One thing I think people need to get into their minds when choosing to talk about somebody's kind of bump is that, number one, it's not really the most polite thing to do. I know people mean well, and I genuinely do understand that they mean well. They're not trying to kind of put you down. But maybe for a moment think, this woman might be feeling a little bit self-conscious because she has got a slightly different figure now. Maybe don't say anything. But it's wishful thinking, people don't think like that, do they? It completely baffles me, because I would never ever dream of ever saying anything like that to anybody. I'd be like, I just think it's a weird thing to say anyway. Don't comment on other people's sizes. Just don't at all. It's just not nice. It's not kind. It's not helpful. Just don't. But yeah, people do what they want. So I think when it comes to the size of your bump as well, things like your actual body shape can determine it. Things like your height can determine it. I'm really curvy and 5'1". Therefore, poor little thing's not really got much room to go. I'm quite kind of short-waisted as well and quite narrow-waisted, which what that has meant in my case is that kind of the bump's actually sitting quite low down rather than higher up, which I think is something to do with kind of like where my ribs are and that kind of thing. I know your ribs expand and mine definitely have, but not to the extent that kind of I was almost expecting. It is very much kind of lower down. So that affects it. Like I said, I'm 5'1", I'm really small. So therefore, again, there's not much room to kind of disguise it really. What you wear can massively affect how your bump looks day to day. I can wear a really baggy jumper and can almost get away with not looking like I'm pregnant. In my mind, I still do look like I'm pregnant. Other people seem to not think that. But then today, for example, I'm wearing a sort of more fitted dress. And you can definitely see that it's like a little bit of a bump. It's not a little bit of a bump, it is like a bump. And it's one of those weird things that people seem to be fixated on talking about, which, again, if you take one thing from this video is that unless you know the person really well and you know that like their body image is completely sound, maybe that's best. But in terms of dealing with your changing body yourself, I can only speak about it from a perspective of during pregnancy. Postpartum body image, I think, is going to be a whole different kettle of fish, and I am very apprehensive about that. Very, very apprehensive about what I'm going to look like, how I'm going to feel. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very concerned about that, and it's something that I think a lot of people kind of don't worry about until it happens, but it's something that, being aware of the issues that I can have, I am a little bit aware of it. So I'm trying to kind of eat as well as I can while I'm pregnant, to kind of minimize that, but it's also quite stressful kind of making sure that you eat everything kind of that you need to. If you are somebody who is used to being on quite a restrictive diet, that can affect it as well. And yeah, I think it's just weird, the kind of constant thing that people have with talking about the size of your bump. It's like, I just don't understand. I don't understand why it's something that you would comment on. It just massively confuses me, but that's just neither here nor there, I suppose. Let me know your thoughts on body image during pregnancy. Do you think that it's just like a nice thing that people are saying when they talk about your bump, or do you think that maybe it's a little bit insensitive? Because let me tell you something, when somebody also says your bump's really small, that can make you worry. It makes you think that maybe the baby's really small. Don't try and rationalise the thought process behind that. Hormonal pregnant women, there is no thought process that's rational, but it's tricky. It's an interesting one, but it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. And I can see myself missing the bump when it's no longer there, which seems quite weird, but I actually can see that. I think it's kind of nice, like sort of, I don't know, you feel like you've always got someone there with you. It's quite nice. One thing that I do think though is that it's hard, in my opinion, to feel sexy when you're pregnant. That is something that I've definitely noticed. And it's not like you want men to look at you all the time. It's not that. But it's just men don't look at you because you're obviously pregnant. Therefore, it's not of interest to them, if that makes sense. And that kind of can make you feel a little bit less sexy. And I know that sexy should just be like how you feel about you, and it's irrelevant, and if you've got a partner and whatever. But it does kind of make you think like, oh, I've lost it. Which, maybe we're not allowed to admit that, but that's what it does feel like to me. Anyway, my boyfriend still insists that, what did he say to me the other day? No, you're a hot pregnant girl. Make of that what you will, in his opinion. So I guess that's the only opinion really that counts, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. I'd be really interested to hear, and I will see you all in my next video.